Hello everyone, Eric here, and welcome to another solo play of Aventuria. Last time we were in the Forest of No Return, and things did not go so well with the very difficult Selenian delusions. Today we're going to be tackling another short adventure, a one-act, from the Ship of Lost Souls, the second expansion. I really like this expansion a lot. I like the hero that comes with it, Tjalva, and I also like some of the additions that the expansion makes to both the henchmen and to some of the other things that you'll be seeing today. We are going to be playing a short adventure called Rietholtz's Treasure. So, once again, we'll be playing with Nicole Sororis. She has had one success and one failure. Let's see if she can get another success under her belt. Coast of Mendina, 1038 BF. It is a cold morning on the Mendinian coast. The spray from the nearby sea surf fills the air with a damp humidity that soaks into your clothes and makes you feel the chilly breeze even sharper. You shiver. Ahead, you can make out the ruins of an old sea fortress whose name is now long forgotten. But even so, its miserable remains provided shelter to dubious figures ever since. At one time, it was home to a family of beachcombers, who were then chased away by a reclusive creator of chimeras, before he himself was killed by the nefarious Captain Rietholtz, a servant of the demon conjurer Zoran. When the captain and his ship were sent to the bottom of the sea by the fleet of the Pearly Sea, the fortress became abandoned. And somewhere, down there, deep inside the ruins, lies the famous treasure of Rietholtz, waiting for brave men and women who are willing to risk life and limb to obtain it. Carefully you make your way through the slippery rock labyrinth. Assemble all Rietholtz's treasure cards and separate the card Old Sea Fortress. Place it with the side Exploration face up and put Hero ×2 skull tokens on it. And there we have done that. Each player makes a survival roll. Alright, so survival was not the skill that I had advanced. That was perception. So my survival is still at 10. Let's see if I can get a 10 or better. And that is a 16, which is not better than a 10, because remember in Aventuria we're rolling low. So that is a failure. During your climb, you lose your footing and tumble down the slippery slope. Your hero loses 1d3 life, which is not too bad. So I will take a d6, use it as a d3. So 3 to 4 will be 2. I will take myself down to 38 life. Not too bad for a failure. Not too harsh as a failure. But it would have been nice to get a critical success, of course. Well, that's fine. Alright. You find the inside of the fortress empty and abandoned, as if nobody has lived here for many decades. Certain that the stories of Rietholtz and his pirate hideout are true, you keep on searching and look in every nook and cranny. Each player makes a perception roll. Hey, that's the skill that I advanced. So I'm looking for an 11 or better this time. And I got a 3, so that is a success. You help in the search, but the clammy weather is wearing you down. Remove 1 skull token from the exploration card. After all players have made their roll, check if there are any skull tokens left. If there are no skull tokens left, you have found the secret door. Otherwise, every player must repeat the perception roll above. So I'm halfway there. I need to do it again. And that is a 12, which is a failure. You feel cold and want to go home to a warming open hearth. You lose another 1d3 life. So this time I will only lose 1. So I'll go to 37. Now I'll try that perception roll again. Still searching. Another 12. Another 1d3 life. Another 1 point. Let's try to roll better. There we go. There's a 9, and that will remove the other token. After a nerve-wracking search, you finally find a secret door. A large chunk of rock swivels sideways and opens up the entrance to a dark flight of winding stairs leading downwards. Carefully you climb down the steps until you reach a large sea cave beneath the fortress. A secret haven just big enough for a small schooner. And exactly a ship of this type is currently moored at the pier. It's hard to tell whether this is the Black Crab, Captain Rietholtz's ship, but its hull is riddled by ballista hits and scorched by fire, and it looks as if it made its way here with the last of its strength, so it seems likely. To enter this obviously cursed ship and steal its treasure will require real heroic bravery. Now you can prove how much of that you have in your bones. Shuffle the pirate treasure cards into a draw pile. Next, every player must decide how deep her hero wants to venture into the ship and may draw 1 or 2 cards from the pirate treasure draw pile, applying them as usual. So here we learn one of the new mechanics in Ship of Lost Souls, and this is the pirate treasure deck. The pirate treasures are cursed, so when you choose them, they come into play with the cursed side active, and that's usually bad, and you have to do something to overcome the curse to then make it useful. Once you overcome the curse, they do become pretty strong, so the question is, how brave is Nicole feeling? I think she's feeling bold, and she will take 2. So here's the first one. The first one is a 17-karat opal. And the curse of this says, during the setup phase of a combat, you may not make a card replacement. So usually Aventuria has a mulligan rule where if you don't like your opening hand, there are replacements that you can make. This will prevent that. Break the curse by refraining from drawing cards during your first turn in a combat. So I will have only 1 chance to break this curse. And that's going to be very important for me to do, and because it will let me draw additional cards every time I defeat an opponent. So that's something I'm probably going to want to break. Alright, the second one is a strength elixir. Pirate curse, lucky you. This elixir is not cursed. Flip this card. So we go immediately to the blessing side, which is great. So this will get an adventure token on this card. You may remove it after failing one of your hero's body control or survival rolls to repeat the roll. That's great. Very, very good. Alright, your intrusion must have woken something, because all of a sudden, green St. Elmo's fire darts over the ship's frames, and in its damp and mossy corners, shapeless specters start to move. Claw-like hands try to grab you and pull you down as you are making a hasty retreat from the ship. Flip the card, Old Sea Fortress, over to the side Danger. Every player must make 1 to 2 body control rolls, depending on the number of pirate treasure cards she drew. So, luckily, body control is one of Nicole's good skills. It's a 12. So, we're going to go ahead and make 2 of those, and I have that strength elixir to help me if I need it. So the first one, I will succeed. You do your best to push back your attackers on your way out of this cursed ship. Great. That's a success. And my second one is a 7, also a success. As you are leaving the cursed pirate ship behind and running towards the entrance, the sea cave shakes from a strong tremor, and a cloud of dust and debris comes flying out of the corridor that leads to the stairwell. Your exit route is blocked. Or maybe it isn't. A ramshackle gangplank leads along the cave wall outside towards the sea surf. In the meantime, however, the undead pirates have encircled you, and from their midst Captain Rietholtz himself steps forward. A hunchback hill dwarf with a bicorn on his head, a walrus mustache, and dead eyes that stare at you with an evil gleam. He is riding on a grotesque giant crab. No, on closer inspection, you realize that the lower half of his body is missing and has been replaced by the body of a crab. So he's a centaur crab? Undead zombie captain. Assemble all remaining Rietholtz treasure cards. So here we have the time scale, and we'll be doing this on easy. I'll take care of that in a moment. I'll set aside the difficult one. And then we have Captain Rietholtz himself, and the hero action Flight from the Fortress. Place a number of adventure tokens equal to the number of heroes plus 1 on the card hero action Flight from the Fortress. So we will start a combat in a moment, but just to be clear, this hero action is a 4 endurance cost dodge roll, and if I can remove these targets, then I succeed. And I actually am victorious in the adventure. So that there are 2 different ways for me to be victorious. All right, then I will have a threat value of number of heroes plus the skulls on the card danger. Afterwards, remove the card danger from play. That's great because I don't have any skulls on there because I succeeded at my body control rolls. So here I have, I'm going to put my pirate treasure down here, move this over, and Captain Rietholtz as a leader just has hero times 4, number of heroes times 4 life. However, he also has a dodge rating, which means he will be able to dodge every one of my attacks, and he has a protection of 3. So despite the fact that he only has 4 life, he's still a little bit tough to kill, especially early on when I'm not doing a lot of damage. So for instance, you may remember that Nicole's base attack costs 0, but always has a static damage of 3, which means that she can never damage Captain Rietholtz with that attack, just at base. So that's a concern. And then we're going to put, looks like 8 time tokens on the time scale. And nothing happens until 5. So I've got a little bit of time to get set up, but let's see what our henchmen look like. So the henchmen in Ship of Lost Souls often are wrapped around the idea of undead pirates. So I have here my deck of henchmen with both the keywords undead and pirate, and you'll see that there are some fun individuals in here. The threat value is the number of heroes times 5 plus the skulls on the card danger. There were no skulls on danger, so it's just a threat of 5. So we'll bring out the first one. It is Bloody Martin, who has a threat of 6, so that's it for our starting henchman. However, his life is 20, and that will be an issue. One thing about the zombies, the 19 to 20 result on many henchmen in normal henchmen is that they flee, but zombies don't flee. Instead, they fester, and then in this case, the result is the henchman loses 5 life points. But Captain Rietholtz has a special, which, as long as he is in play, undead pirates only lose 2 life from festering. So probably my focus is going to be on a mix of getting rid of both of them. It depends on what my initial draw is going to be, because the should be at 35, sorry. The henchman only has 1 protection, so he'll be easier to hurt initially. But once I get some big hits, I'm going to want to take out Captain Rietholtz as quickly as possible. So we'll see how all of that goes. In the meantime, let's go ahead and figure out my starting draw. Shuffling my cards. Yeah. Okay, so I have 5 cards, and there are a bunch of one-shots which is not great as a starting, especially because I'm going to have to play some as endurance, and if I want to break this curse, I'm going to have to refrain from drawing. There are only 2 villains, so this is an important decision here. I think what I'm going to choose to do is actually not break this curse. So I can't make any card replacements. I cannot change my hand. That part of the curse I can't do anything about. However, if I wanted to break the curse, I would have to refrain from drawing cards during my first turn. I really feel like I need more cards than this, and so I think what I'm actually going to do, because the blessing is that I would draw a card every time I defeat an opponent, and it just doesn't seem like I'm going to be doing that often enough to make a difference. So if I had a whole row of little opponents, I think that might make me want to break this curse, but as it stands, I'm going to just let myself continue to be cursed, and I will draw my 2 cards at the start of my turn. And I did get the acrobatics, which is good. I also got a decent one-shot, which I actually might try right away. It's actually not a bad thing to do. Okay, so what I've got here is that I'm going to do... I want to keep Suddenly Gone because that reduces protection by 3, which will be extremely useful against Captain Rietholtz himself. The Bewitch is useful. I can ignore an effect of 1 to 5 from Bloody Martin, but not from Captain Rietholtz. Good Memory I can definitely safely put down, so that one I will do. Anatomy I don't know yet if I'm going to want, because right now I don't have any weapons in my hand. So I think, as much as I might like it, Bewitch is the one that I'm going to go ahead and use as endurance. So I have 2 endurance, so I can't play either the acrobatics or the anatomy. Instead, I think I am going to go ahead and play the Hurazat Foot Sweep, and let's see if we can get very lucky and hit Captain Rietholtz hard right away. This is a pretty devastating attack if you roll well, so we'll see how we go. So I've rolled a 15, which is not good enough, so I will take a fate point anyway. I have missed with that. Oh well, there we are. I have no endurance, but Nicole's basic attack does not cost anything, so she will throw a rock at Bloody Martin. Let's see how that goes. That's a 3, so that will hit, and it automatically does 3 damage. He automatically protects 1, so he will drop down to 18. Which doesn't seem like a huge hit, but gotta start somewhere. Okay, and that is all I'm going to play at the moment. And I will remain cursed for the rest of this combat. But it's not a... The curse only affects the beginning of the combat, so that doesn't matter anyway. Alright. Captain Rietholtz will take an action. He will roll a 15. That is an attack. A hero chosen by the players suffers 1d6 plus 1. I am the only hero, so I must choose myself. So he will hit me for 5. Let's see if I can dodge. I don't. I only have a dodge of 7. That is an 8. So I fail to dodge, and I will take 5 damage. So I'm down to 30 even. Okay. Bloody Martin. So Captain Rietholtz only has 1 action because there's only 1 hero in play. Bloody Martin, being a henchman, like most henchmen, not all, but most henchmen only have 1 action. So he will roll once. It is a 9. On a 9, a random hero suffers 1d6 plus 3. Guess what? I'm the random hero. And that is a 6, so that's 9 damage, which is a rough start. Let's see if I can dodge it. Very much hoping that I can. I did not, so I will take 9 damage. I am down to 21 already. Definitely a nasty start. And then I will remove 1 time token. We're at 7. Nothing happens on the time scale. And then I will ready my things. Alright. Drawing 2 cards. There are many good things in here. So I have Vigilance and Acrobatics. So Acrobatics will add 2, Vigilance will let me reroll dodges. This suggests, based on the hand that I'm seeing, that I'm definitely going to want to focus on just dodging and fleeing my way out of here. I think the cards are telling me that what I should do to win this scenario is flee from the fortress. And that is what I'm going to try to do. So I need to try to set myself up to survive as I do that. Blackout is very good. It adds 3 to all action die rolls, but it's just so expensive, and I really should be spending 4 endurance on fleeing when I can. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Since I don't have any melee attacks, I'm going to put away well-aimed strike. And I'm going to start by adding 3 to my dodge ability. I think that's going to be, or add 2 to my dodge skill. So that's going to be very important. That will help me overall. So my dodge skill is now 9. I do have 1 endurance left. The question is, do I use that on reducing Captain Rietholtz's... Well, I can try. Let's see if I can do some damage to him. Because if I use Suddenly Gone, I will ignore his protection. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and roll throw a stone at him. I do hit. I hit for 3 damage. Let's see if he dodges. Excuse me. Throw that over there. He did not dodge, so I'm going to spend my last endurance on Suddenly Gone, reducing his protection by 3. And that means that he will, in fact, take the 3 damage. So that's a good hit, and that makes me feel a little better about things. Maybe I can get rid of him sooner. That would be very nice. Okay, that is it for my turn. Excuse me, I'm just going to set that on top. And we're going to go ahead and go to Captain Rietholtz. He rolls a 2. So he rolled a 2. The hero with the most fate points loses 1 fate point. That would be me. I will lose a fate point. I'm actually okay with that because I'm low on life and I would rather lose fate points than life right now anyway. Then Bloody Martin will fester. That's great. So unfortunately he will only lose 2 life points, but that's much better than hitting me. So there we are. That is the villain turn. They take off a timescale token. So we're now down to 6. Next turn we'll see another henchman. So if I can get some things done before then, that would be very good. Alright, so we will bring everything back up. I will draw 2 cards. Ooh. Okay. I'm looking at this, so I have a chain staff, which is will allow me another attack and might actually help me finish off Captain Rietholtz. It has an effect if an opponent fails a dodge test, that it allows me to draw cards, and that's very good. I also have this hardwood harness, and armor seems like a thing that I really want right now. So I think I don't necessarily need the anatomy. I'm going to go ahead and play that as endurance, but I really need all 3 of these things. And the order in which I need them, I think, is that I need the armor first, and then I need the chain staff. Now, the armor costs me 1 at the end of my turn to keep in play. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Nicole's special ability. So she's going to flip to indicate that she has used her special ability, and that lets me ready half of my endurance round down. So that will give me the 2 endurance that I need, 1 of which I will use to attack with the chain staff. So with the chain staff, I will use my melee. I do not hit, so I will take a fate point. And then I will attack Bloody Martin with my stone. And I crit! That's great. So that is a 1, which means I do hit, and I also draw a card. I do like that. And I will do 3 damage. He takes 2, bringing him down to 14, slowly whittling away. And then at the end of my turn, I must spend an endurance to keep the hardwood harness in play. So there I am. So I've got armor, I've got a dodge of 9, I'm feeling a little better about my chances, which is good, because we'll see another henchman coming out in just a moment. Captain Rietholtz will take an action. That is a 19. He does nothing. We love it when Captain Rietholtz does nothing. Bloody Martin. Oh, excuse me. Roll in view. Hey, there's another 19, so he will fester again. That's a great opponent turn for me. Then we will remove another time token, bringing us down to 5. When we go down to 5, we bring out a new henchman. It is a brainless zombie pirate. So this is one of the sort of generic zombie pirates rather than the named ones like Bloody Martin. So there we have our brainless zombie pirate, and then it becomes my turn again. So I will get my endurance back, ready my weapon and myself, and draw 2 cards. Okay. I want as much endurance as possible so that I can do all the things I need to do. I really like stargazing. Being able to reroll any roll is very useful. I don't think I need the Hurzat crossblock, and so I'm going to use that one as endurance. And I'm not really trying to win by taking out enemies, so I'm also going to put Nightwind down and just keep my chain staff going. Because Nightwind is a little harder to hit with, and it has some great effects, does more damage, and you can discard it to draw cards. It's very useful. But for right now, I think it is better that I stick to what I've got. So I'm going to spend 3 to put Vigilance in play, so now I can re-roll my dodge rolls, my dodge tests, which includes the flight. Then I will... So if I were to spend 4 to actually attempt it, I would lose my hardwood harness because I do not have enough endurance to keep it in play. So I think, unfortunately, this turn I will not be able to do it. We're going to go ahead and spend 1 to use the chain staff on Captain Rietholtz. Let's see if we can take him out. That is a 3. That will hit. And I will be doing 8 damage. That's perfect. Even if he dodges, he will be going away. He did dodge, so he will only take 4 damage. His protection is 3, and now he is defeated. That is fantastic. I have defeated an opponent, so I get a fate point. Then I'm going to throw a stone at Bloody Martin. I think. Yeah, they're both at 12, and I'd like Bloody Martin to go away sooner. That would certainly be helpful. And let's see if I hit. I do, so he will take 3, prevent 1, and lose 2 life. There we are. Now, if I spent 2... You know what? I am actually going to spend my 2 fate points as endurance, and then spend 2 more endurance to attempt a dodge roll right now to remove a token from Flight from the Fortress. That seems worth it to me. Now, Flight from the Fortress is a dodge roll, and I raise my roll by the number of opponents, including the leader. So currently, whatever shows up on my die, I will add 2 to it, so it's less likely to happen the more opponents you have. But I did not succeed. Whoops, that was a 19. So I will use Vigilance to re-roll a failed dodge test. And there's a 4. That, even becoming a 6, is less than my 9 dodge skill, so I will remove a token. I am halfway to victory. Alright, now it is... oh, I must spend that last endurance to keep my hardwood harness in play. And now it is Bloody Martin's turn. He rolls an 11. Attack. A random hero suffers 1d6 plus 3. So that is 7. And let's see if I can dodge. I do! So I will only take 4, and I will use the hardwood harness to protect me from it. So I will take nothing. Then, the Brainless Zombie Pirate. 14. Stumbles around aimlessly and does nothing. That's great. So I managed to protect myself that turn. Lose a time scale token. And now we will come back. Okay. Now the leather bracers are very good. And in fact, I like them better than the Provocate. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Provocate. Oops, I need to ready the other things. I'm going to play the leather bracers. Now they're very interesting. They do 2 things. They raise my melee by 1, and also can be used to protect 1. So that will help me survive a little bit. And then I still have the Stargazing in my hand. So let's see with 3 attempts if we can get out of here. Actually, 1, 2, I have 6. I think it's worth it to make an attack against Bloody Martin with the chain staff and see if we can just knock him out and make the fleeing roll easier. That is a 10 with my melee. That will hit. My damage will be 7. He protects 1 of it, so he will take 6, and that will bring him down to 4, which is not quite in range of my stone. So we'll go ahead and now spend 4 to make my fleeing roll. Let's go ahead and do that. Oops. All right. That is a 13, which is definitely not good enough. So let's reroll with vigilance. And that is a 4, and I have removed the last token, and so I am out of there. So, let's see what happens. After a victory, and there are 2 different victory scenarios. One is if you defeated all opponents, and one is if you flee. So, since I fled, you hack your way through your repulsive enemies on your way along the ramshackle gangplank towards freedom. Finally, you reach the seaside. Below you, the roar of the breaking waves, while over you, the sky breaks through, sending the screaming pirate band backwards into their dark and damp caves. You've overcome the adventure, discard all pirate treasure cards, so I didn't really use them, but you can see that in a longer adventure they get pretty cool. In the full Ship of Lost Souls adventure, they come into play quite a bit. And then read the effects of my victory. So I did not get experience points from the treasure itself, so I just have the normal 1 experience for a single act adventure. And I think this time, let's see if we can get something special from the reward deck. Let's find out. So I'm going to set aside my deck, put away the henchman, and the adventure cards, and I'm going to use my experience to draw a card from the reward deck. And my reward deck includes everything from all the expansions, so there's going to be a wide variety of rewards here. Some of them may be useful to me, some of them may not. This is kind of a chance, but let's see what we get. And our reward card is a strong healing potion. Heal 1 hero 8 life. That seems exactly like something I would like to include in my deck. So, on here, in reward cards, I mark that I have a strong healing potion. And at the beginning of each adventure, I can choose whether to put it into my deck or not. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to prefer it to... I still like Balsam because Balsam is more variable. Lets me spend a little bit of endurance for a little bit of healing, or a lot of endurance for a lot of healing. So I do want to keep that. I'm actually thinking, as you've seen in the past couple of sessions, I haven't really used Boltan Game. It's, I think, more useful in a game with more heroes, because every hero gets to draw additional cards by losing a little bit of life. But with just Nicole, I think we're going to pull that out. And so I will now have the strong healing potion in my deck for the next adventure. I think that's very good, and that feels very successful to me. So next time we'll head into Hero's Struggle, which is the next expansion. And Hero's Struggle is a bunch of one-shots. We may do 1 or 2 in there. We'll see how we do with the first one. If we have a lot of success right away, maybe we'll move on to something challenging after that, and you'll see me face a dragon. But maybe I'll spend some time with Hero's Struggle and do a couple of the shorter adventures from there, so that you can see what that's like. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time for Aventuria.